Okay. Yeah, I'll just head to Ryan's room.
Yeah, Ryan, do you go straight to your room?
I do, and I shut the door and I lock it.
Barone knocks. Do you answer?
No.
Caroline, have you been following Barone, following Ryan, sitting in your car?
Yeah, I think I followed them back to the shared parking lot. And I'm just watching their dynamic, trying to figure out who it is that's bent out of shape and how much more than normal they are.
Go ahead and roll human with a plus 20.
Though I needed that. 29, we're all right.
You get the sense that there's a lot of strain between them. The larger one, RD, you're presuming, based on his reaction to the initials being said, seems to be obstinate and shutting everything down. Seems to be upset and protective over what's going on, where you can see the other one is very uncomfortable with the social dynamic happening and uncomfortable with conflict in general.
Yes, I do.
But you do see Barone go back to her room, which is also on the top floor, and that gives you a layout of who is who. It seems like the paranoid one on the ground floor isn't with them, but the messy, wrapper-laden room is Barone's, and the neat and tidy room with the envelope was Agent Ryan's.
Yeah, in my internal guessing game, I missed a few points, but that's okay. It's starting to make sense.
Agent Ryan, what do you do in your room locked away?
I immediately pick up the phone and call Butterfield.
Thank God. I didn't want to call Butterfield. We'll see how this goes, though. Maybe I will call Butterfield and give my own report.
He's call waiting. We can...
Kids tattling back and forth. No, Mom, that's not what happened.
If this were like modern, then you would just hear like a drone over after an hour and just... Yeah, the phone rings and there's an automated thing because it's a pager, and then you get a call back in about 15 minutes. Takes some time. Hello?
Yeah, Butterfield, it's Ryan, Agent Ryan, Oklahoma. We have an issue here that you need to know about.
Okay. I know our conversation last time didn't go well, so I'm willing to give another one a shot, Agent Ryan. Please let me know what went wrong.
Yeah, so many things. Unfortunately, Agent Dell is no longer with us. Agent Barone, I don't know. We're just not seeing eye to eye. We're not on the same page about the current situation. Somebody named Caroline has showed up unannounced and seems to know a bit too much about our operation here. I wanted to take care of the issue. Barone did not, and now Barone has brought her back to our hotel.
There's a long silence. How did Agent Sandusky retire?
Your buddy Karas summoned some aliens down, and the aliens killed him and stole his brain.
You hear coughing, and I'm going to roll sanity for him. 20. Okay. Excuse me, Agent Ryan. I've been working with Agent Sandusky for not a long time, but some time. But this catches me as a surprise, being that he was quite the operator. And Karas, you said, brought aliens down. How did he accomplish this?
Through the chant. A chant I'm sure you already know about.
The chant that Arthur Finch was trying to gather?
Correct.
Did you have contact with these aliens? Were you able to speak in any manner to them?
Yeah, I did. Yes.
Okay. Is this chant something you think that you can replicate with me there?
I don't think you want me to do that. But, yeah, I can definitely replicate it. I've done it.
And you said your friend, Karas. What do you mean by that?
Oh, we found an old photo of you two together hanging out. So I just assumed that you're friends with him.
Okay. Thank you, Agent Ryan. I do want to be in your presence if you can do this chant.
Why? I don't want to do it again.
Okay. Agent Ryan, I will be on my way to Atoka, and you hear some shuffling. This Caroline person, you said?
She's claiming to be a park ranger, but that's clearly not true, and she won't tell us who she is.
Okay. What does she know?
She found some, I guess you can call it paraphernalia, some photos that were taken in the field, as well as the finger that got stuck in Barone per our last conversation.
Jesus Christ, this is a clusterfuck. You did not take care of her, it sounds like, and Barone is not letting that happen.
Correct.
Okay. On my way out there, I would love to think about this some. Can you just give me a recounting of what exactly happened to lead to Agent Sandusky's demise? And I'll stop there, and you can just tell me what you tell him. If you tell him everything, you leave something out, or you tell him nothing.
I will tell him about going out to Cross's cabin, and I will tell him that, per the mission, we were just trying to get information out of him, and he disappeared for a little bit, went outside, did a chant, and both Karas and Dell's brains were taken as a payment.
Okay. Agent Ryan, I'm assuming you don't trust me after seeing that photo, which is completely fine. There are things that you don't need to know, and there are things that even I don't know. But I need to have contact with these entities, whatever they are, whether that be through you or Arthur Finch. I will bring him with me. If you cannot do this chant, then I will get him up to speed enough to do it. But I want you there as a subject matter expert now to help me. This isn't a question. It's this or the other way.
Holy shit. I'll hang tight.
I'll see you in about 6 hours. Click. Caroline, what are you doing while this stuff is going down?
Yeah, I think I am taking stock of all of the collateral that I have, I suppose. Things that I think would be the most painful for them if information was to get out. Really understanding what it is that I can twist if it feels like they think that I am disposable.
Do you have any bureaucracy or criminology?
Boy, howdy. Yes, both.
Yeah, give me a roll for whatever's highest.
Something a park ranger would definitely have.
Like I said, she's a cultural ranger. There is a difference. 46 is plenty.
Yeah, you have a lot, right? You have a dead drop for all of the pictures that you found with your duplicates that you printed. You also could just call the cops right now, and they would go out to Boggy Depot and find blood everywhere, probably. You have no idea where that blood is or the other person. And were you to call the cops, that would put a kink in everything. And you would be the White Knight, you would have blown this open. So maybe that's a ticket out of Atoka as well, right? Or maybe there's something to what they're doing. Maybe you can wriggle in somewhere. You saw openings with Agent Barone. You could work that angle as well. And there's also a overwhelming sense that they are out of their element. And if you are in your element, there's a lot of things you could take advantage of.
Yeah. I think the opportunity abounds. It's just a matter of whether I am poised and collected enough to capitalize on it.
Barone, what do you find yourself doing?
As I'm going back to my room, I stop at my front door and I open it, and then I stop and I turn, and from where I am, can I actually see Caroline?
Yeah, she's parked next to your truck and is just sitting in her car, wanting to give you guys space.
Okay. I'm going to open my door and do the gesture of, come on in, and then I'm going to walk into my room.
Yeah. I think you will see her kind of take a deep breath that you do before you go into a job interview. Yeah, she will de-wrinkle her pants as she gets out and then straighten herself and make her way up.
Yeah, what's the conversation like once you get in?
Yeah, sure. So when you walk into the room, Barone is sitting in one of those shitty circular tables with chairs that are entirely too small and a corner that's too small for all three of those things. And she has a glass of water, and you walk in, she's sitting there, and she gestures to the chair.
Was this advertised as the business center?
It depends on how this goes, I guess, but I think perhaps we can benefit each other a little bit, and I would like to maybe figure that out.
I don't mind the proposal. Go ahead and propose.
Well, my main proposal is you don't die. That would be great, especially on behalf of my partner there, who is a little trigger friendly. Everything I'm doing right now literally is trying to not make you dead. And that's because I think if you are good with information dissemination seeking and are any benefit, maybe we can, as a team, benefit from that. So not to make this a job interview, Caroline, but what can you bring to the table?
Well, I suppose that is an interesting proposition. I'm curious what it is that you would consider that you need as an accessory to whatever it is that sort of operation you're running here. What is it that you and RD are retrieving from a nothing place in the world like this? What has you skulking around Boggy Depot?
Well, funny story, because the answer to that, I actually don't know myself. There's a lot out here. There's stuff that shouldn't be really anywhere on this earth. My biggest concern is the person in charge of us seems to be about dick deep in a pile of shit that we don't really know about, and my trust in them is lost altogether. So I'm looking for steps to perhaps play within the boundaries and not appear to be playing outside, but at the same time, maybe protect myself to keep a bullet from going in my skull also.
I see. You find yourself having to manage up a little bit.
The polite term, yes. Yeah, manage up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, look, I can understand we all have our specialities, but if keeping people off your back is what you need, a little extra breathing room, honey, we could do a whole lot better than that. Now, I don't pretend to know the dynamics or the demeanor of this overseer that you are struggling with at the moment, but a man is a man, honey. Mortals are mortals, and, well, they bend before they break.
Interesting. All right. Well, being mortals, there's usually a paper trail aligned with that. How skilled are you with finding hidden information and stuff that is within networks outside of the norm?
Shoot, you mean like secret packages duct taped to the underside of toilets in rooms that you do not have access to? I think that's a good start.
In a toilet, Ryan. A fucking toilet. All right. Okay, that's where it was. Everybody has to piss. Like, that's the first place you're going to go is the bathroom. Like, come on. God damn, he could have done better than that.
It's a well-trod path. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely true. Okay, so I'm trying to think of a way to like not give too much information right off the bat, but also like gain a little trust and figure out what Caroline can do for Barone. And I think Barone's biggest problem here is she no longer trusts Butterfield. I think she's going to probably try to play into that a little bit as far as like, hey, I'm still Team Butterfield, but I want information on Butterfield.
Yeah.
And I want to figure out how to, if I could get Caroline to find this information for me. Because, like, I'm a car chick. Like, I don't know data. Like, Ryan was our data person and to find stuff. And if I had a moment to talk to Ryan, I could have asked, like, hey, Ryan, we need to figure out who Butterfield is and why. Caroline's my second option. So how can, I guess I'm just kind of thinking out loud there.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a few things as you're thinking of this. You don't know Butterfield's on his way, right? Obviously, but your guess is that, how personable she seems to be would be an asset. There's also something nagging in the back of your head about, like, you left a mess out there. Who's going to do the PR for this? Like, who's going to control who's doing damage control? Which your guess is, it's going to require some amount of honesty if you wanted to pull her in to help you cover it up. And, that's maybe the window into things. And then from there, if you call Butterfield and be like, hey, this person here, I was out on a convoy one time myself and encountered something and they pulled me in. I have somebody here who's witnessed some things. They seem like they're solid. Can we read this person in type of conversation, right? But you're thinking that maybe she needs to prove herself in some capacity before that. So
yeah, correct. And that's like the team benefit is great. Caroline can cover up for us because, man, we made a mess out there, guys. But yeah, I think that's a massive team benefit, but I want a personal benefit out of this also. My personal benefit payoff is I want Butterfield's information. Why was he there? Like, Butterfield's not going to tell me. So I think, okay, great.
I mean, I think, Caroline, takes you seriously when you're saying like, hey, it would be important for me to get information about, this shadowy figure. Obviously, there's not like anything immediate that happens, but like she has a network of lemmings in the background, right? And she's like taking down the notes on the who's and the whys and the wheres, and is just going to try and, see if any people have heard any rumblings about this, that, or the other. Whatever you're able to divulge about Butterfield without getting into like mission proper, I guess.
Yes, give me your lemmings. This is exactly what I wanted. Yeah, I mean, I think she knows like we don't have tiny computers in our pockets to pull out and search on information
that
for
would
people.
Be crazy.
That's crazy. How could that thing exist? But I think a competency of like networking and stuff is what she is looking forward to. So when Caroline provides like her lemming spread, I think that gets Barone to bite a little bit. Great. All right. So you seem competent and like you could prove an asset in multiple ways. I have a little bit of hoops to jump through, but at the same time, I would appreciate if you could start your network in on do I know Butterfield's full name, or is it just Butterfield?
You've heard Gary Butterfield, and then in the paperwork with Karas, you heard Bob Butterfield.
I would like you to start in on your network with a Gary and or Bob Butterfield, and I'm going to present the picture of Karas. And I think trust will have to go a little bit in both directions. In this, I don't want to divulge more information than I have to at this exact point in time, but I also don't want you to die. So I hope that trade of being a little cagey for you not getting killed is a trade that you are akin to.
Look, I am moved by where your heart is today. And in fact, I do not feel like dying much either. But I do not feel this is an opportunity that can be squandered. We must expose ourselves to some amount of danger if we are to open ourselves to change. And I see big change coming.
I am on board with that. I'll go ahead and step out and make that call. We decided that I had to do this from a payphone, or is this something done from the room? It's a payphone, right?
You were going to payphones before, yeah.
I was going to payphones
before. But it can
before.
be the room, so.
Yeah, I will. I want a little bit of privacy from Caroline. Like, I don't want her to know everything. So I'm going to go ahead and stand up from the table and say, I do have a phone call to make. Watch for any knocks at the door. We are expecting a package, and I will be back shortly.
Caroline, what are you doing with Barone leaving?
Well, I've already taken stock of this room, so I think I am just trying to figure out how to get RD to loosen up in this negotiation somewhat, for having been kind of like the squeaky wheel on the outside, right? The informant, the leaker, the what have you. He didn't seem particularly worried about his position being jeopardized based on that fact. Mm-hmm. And so I am, surely he seems rather sure of himself, and I am not sure why.
Yeah, sure of himself in the sense that he is very stubborn and not allowing any window into him.
Well, sure of himself in that if I had leaked and botched an operation that I was overseeing, created liabilities in the same way that he had, I would be sweating a little more profusely than he seems to be. I would be worried about what my superiors would have to say, and he does not seem flustered by that same prospect.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Would you approach the door or anything and knock, or just you're kind of mulling this over, thinking about ways to leverage it?
No, I think he made it clear that he wants his privacy for now.
Yeah. Okay. Barone, you call Butterfield's pager.
Okay.
And how long would you wait for a call back out there?
How long? Well, I mean, I think we're used to some around, 5 minutes or less. I think I would double that just to be, doubly sure that a call is not coming. But yeah, I mean, I think my expectation is the call would come because it always has.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll luck.
Sure. 50-50. I got a 55. Crit fail.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't crit fail on luck, but yeah.
Hey, you never know.
So there is no call back, which is surprising, right? So, yeah.
Okay.
And so you wait 10, 15, maybe even push it to 20.
Yeah.
And still nothing back. What do you do?
Well, that's awfully concerning, I guess. And I will go back I'll go to Ryan's room and she'll walk to the door and go to knock, take a breath, steel herself a little bit, and do it as a polite knock as humanly possible. Ryan, if you had a minute to talk, that would be great.
Who is it?
It's the boogeyman, Ryan. No, it's Morgan Barone, your partner for the last couple days, standing out here in the cold.
Yeah, Barone, I'm not talking to you right now.
Okay, fine.
Maybe tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. I will take tomorrow. Were you able to make a phone call earlier?
I'm not telling you anything.
Okay, well, I could tell you that I just made a phone call and nothing came out of it, which is disconcerting. If you would like to dig into that or have any questions, I will be in my room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no questions. Have a great night.
Okay. And then she walks back to her room.
Yeah. And you can retcon anything, but I'm fast forwarding. Agent Ryan, can you give me an alertness roll?
Sure. 45, I got 73.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you're sitting on the edge of your bed and it's not like you're not on watch. You are, but whoever opens your door is just extremely quiet and skilled. Like the lock didn't click. It was like a soft, lubricated sigh almost. And then the door drifts open. And by the time you see it, there's a small wedge of light coming from outside. It's nighttime by now, so this is light from the street lights and the hotel lights outside. And it stains across the carpet. The light does that, and then you see a shadow step into the room. And you see Butterfield, but stripped of his rumpled suit and exhaustion. He looks like he's kind of dressed for surgery. His feet are wrapped in blue, crinkled painter's booties, and there is a hairnet on his head that is clear, and he's holding a pistol with a silencer on it, and he's terrifyingly quiet. And he's making eye contact with you as he enters the room. And yeah, you see that pistol sitting there with a long suppressor on it. And he just whispers, "Don't get up. We have a lot to discuss, and I can't afford any more messes."
And am I am I still sitting on the edge of my bed, or am I? Okay. Well, I just grip my gun on my lap and I just stare at him.
Yeah, he doesn't point his at you, but it is there, and you see the hammer is pulled back with a flick of a wrist. Depending on the circumstances, you would have a bullet in your head, and you see his eyes shoot down to the gun in your hand, and he just kind of shakes his head. It's like, "We need to go."
Go where? All right, I'm going.
Agent Barone and Caroline, some hours have passed. What are you doing from the room? Are you guys just having conversation? Caroline, are you trying to do some calls already? Like, what's your tact?
Yeah, I think I've definitely started making some phone calls to get the wheels working in my network. What about you, bro?
Well, thinking about it, I think if a possibility, I'm trying to think, like, one, would we stay in the space? A couple things. One, would we stay in the space? Ryan's not participating. There's no safety here. The package isn't coming. It's getting late. All right, maybe it's not coming. Like, do we go to a bar to get a drink and, like, sort things out? Or two, Ryan's not participating. I can't reach Butterfield. Would we change rooms? Like, is there anything that we do, like, knowing that there's something that I can't trust, like, innately would be even be in the space?
I think when you mull over the idea of changing rooms, Caroline will pull out the master key from the front desk and say, "We can have the pick of the place."
All right. Hey, look at that. Partnership looking up. That's a +1 for Caroline there. Okay, yeah, great. And then we'll pick, I don't know if we'll pick a high corner room to be able to see better or a low corner room for easy escape. Which one do you think, Caroline?
Something that was looking at the doors of our previous rooms.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. So not changing the names, nothing. There's no log of it, and we're just going to go into another room.
Yeah, it's a horseshoe, so you can get one across the way and facing your old room and Ryan's room, which was right next to it.
Great.
And
I think at the same time, I'm moving the truck. Like, if we're going out of our way to not necessarily, or to be somewhere else, not make it obvious that truck is still there. So maybe park it down the street or, back behind the block or something, so it's just not blatantly there. I mean, and I don't know if Caroline moves her car also, but I think that's my thought. And if that's too metagamey, like, perfectly fine. But I will take it if we can.
yeah, you're able to move your truck. Caroline, you move in your car too?
Yeah, just to kind of fall in line. It doesn't occur to me that it's necessary, but, I'll just keep the peace.
Yeah, you move your car and the truck out of the parking lot of the hotel, down the street, down the highway. There's a small pull-off that you can park them in, and you can hoof it back to the hotel, or the motel, and get to the new room. And from there, Caroline, you're doing some initial calls, and you doing that in front of Barone?
Yeah, I do those in front of Barone, and several of them are kind of like a slightly frustrated, unanswered call to Ranger McKell at the ranger station. You're like a couple of messages being left trying to tell him that, like, hey, here are the things that we had, planned for the rest of this week. The ATVs are in such and such a location, like, please check in when you get this message. And they're like, probably at least 3 of those over the course of the several hours.
Yeah, roll your intelligence times 5.
74, which is too high.
It's worrisome and bothersome. You haven't drawn any direct connections to it, but you are getting suspicious that they encountered him out there. But yeah, there's no smoking gun per se that's nagging you yet. And Barone, you do hear her leaving messages for Ranger McKell.
Yeah, I think that's something that with this, trust trade is something that's just starting. I think, some merit needs to be built up before that is broached in any capacity. So I think this is our opportunity, exhausted and dirty and filthy, with somebody there to, sneak off to the bathroom, leave them to their business, and get a little cleaned up and pick her mental self back together. And one way to do that is taking care of herself. So she'll, bring her revolver into the bathroom, with her bag of stuff, because it's all kind of just together, and take a moment to kind of just settle and get cleaned up a bit.
Yeah. Can both of you roll alertness for me?
Sure. My alertness is 81. I got a 42 success.
Yeah. Caroline, anything? Okay.
Yeah, I got it on the dot, 20.
Beautiful. Yeah, as you're getting on with your phone calls, you come out of the shower, Barone. The blinds are open a little bit. You do catch a Crown Vic parked far from here down the road, and it's just sitting there. Like, you don't see a driver or anything. It's too dark. And it's not in the parking lot itself. It's just down the highway on the side across from it.
Okay. Having been to and around the property where we were working out of for like the Delta Green HQ. Well, I mean, that would be a rented car. That wouldn't be like a known Delta Green car from like, I saw it in the parking lot type thing, I guess, huh? Because he probably would have to fly here and rent something.
Yeah, you wouldn't know anything
for sure.
other than it looks
Okay.
like Crown Vic is very cop-coded, Fed-coded, right?
100%.
2 layers of nondescriptness going on here.
Okay. I mean, I don't think there's anything necessarily to do with that information except for watch it and watch any persons coming from that direction. I don't think that would cause her to spook at this exact point in time.
Yeah. So you're on alert then, watching out the window.
Correct. Yep.
About 20 minutes later, another car, a plain-looking Corolla, pulls in behind it. You see a man get out on the passenger side of it and open the trunk, and you see him putting on something on his feet and his hair and his head. You see the outline of a gun being held towards his chest like this, and he disappears into the darkness behind the hotel.
Oh, shit. And I couldn't see like his gait or like any features of said person, correct?
Yeah, give me a human.
All right, so this is going to be low. I'll be fucking surprised if I get this. Humans, I think it's just the 10%, not even 69.
All right, mark your failure, and yeah.
Yep.
You're not sure other than it's menacing, seeing somebody walk across the street with a gun held close to their chest and their shadow cast long in the streetlights. Do you flag this for Caroline?
Yeah, absolutely. Knowing how Delta Green functions and how other teams functions, and reading reports of like incidents that happen with people. I think at some point I probably would have came across the Del and Ryan report of somebody, on the opposite team, if you will, coming for them, and somehow that knowledge being known. So I think I absolutely will flag it. Caroline, I think it might be time to beat feet. There are opposing powers to the ones that I work for, and sometimes they get information that they shouldn't, and are able to solve problems, if you will. And if we are the problem, we might be being solved. I have no expectation of any of our team coming for any reason whatsoever. I think it's time to dip.
Yeah. I think the look that crosses her face is like, oh, we're not playing make-believe anymore. This is the real deal, right? Like, she gets adrenaline pumping, and you can see her hand is just like stuck in her purse and doesn't come out. And there is just like a sense of aliveness that she is fluttering with, as you see she is just paying attention to every single one of your commands. They are not suggestions, they are law.
Yeah, great.
Do you look out the window as he flags this?
Yes, absolutely, I do.
Go ahead and roll your sanity.
78. I don't know if anybody could save that.
Yeah, you lose 1 from helplessness as you see this figure cross the street, casting a huge shadow and going behind the hotel. Go ahead and roll stealth. Who has the lowest stealth of you two? Can you guys tell me your stealth?
I got
32.
50.
All right, lowest, give me a roll for stealth as you're getting out.
Okay, here we go. Good luck me. 32. We got a 23. Success.
Okay, yeah. You've been in this hotel a decent amount of time, and you snake your way down the stairs, sticking to where you know the lights are out, because this is a very shitty place, and you can sneak out through the side. You don't have to go through the parking lot because your car's not in the parking lot anymore, and you start beating feet down to where you parked. Back to you, Agent Ryan. Agent Ryan, you decide to go with Butterfield. He essentially makes you walk in front of him, and he doesn't point his gun at you as far as you can tell, but are you moving fast, moving slow? He directs you to go down the stairs and across the street of the hotel and get into the Crown Vic.
Yeah, based on how he entered my room, I'm automatically assuming he wants to be a little on the stealthy side. So I'm moving pretty slow to try to match, the tone of what I've gathered here.
Go ahead and roll me stealth.
Cape, looking for 13. Not a very stealthy guy. Got 37.
Yeah, it feels like you're being pretty quiet as you're leaving. And you get down the stairs, across the parking lot. You run across the highway to the Crown Vic. You see a shadow of another shape in the car. Butterfield says, "Back, please."
No, yeah, I don't question. I just open the back door and slide in the car. Is the other figure in the car in the back as well?
No, they're in the passenger seat.
Okay. Do I recognize this person?
No, he turns to you, gives you a smile, and he says, I'm Agent Johnson. Who are you?
Wait, didn't he tell me that he was bringing Arthur Finch? So I'm just assuming that this is Arthur Finch.
It's not Finch.
Oh, okay.
He says, Agent Johnson. Nice to meet you, Agent Ryan.
Hey.
Yeah. Seems like you got yourself into a little pickle here. And then he rolls for an alertness.
Am I getting like a Sopranos vibe here? I know that hasn't happened in 1998 necessarily, but is this
You
the
feel
type
like
of
you're
vibe
in
I'm-
Goodfellas, so.
Oh, shit. Okay.
He says, hey, Bobby, come here. And Bobby gets in the driver's side and says, I think you other two decided to beat feet and took off to the north there. And Butterfield looks back at Ryan, says, you go with Agent Smith. I will meet you later. And then gets out and goes back into his Corolla, starts it up. When the headlights reflect off the license plate, you do see somebody in the back of the Corolla, in the very back. And then he pulls out and drives around the car, heading on the highway slowly. Caroline and Agent Barone, you get to your vehicles and see a car coming down the highway, and it just nonchalantly pulls into where your vehicles are pulled off. And the headlights are just bright in your face, and they stay there.
These you people.
I don't know. And I take out my GP100 and cock it and kind of get behind a door. And I'm like, feel free to announce yourself.
Yeah, the lights turn off, and standing with their arm in the car and a silenced pistol pointed straight at Caroline is Agent Butterfield as he's reached in to turn them off. And he says, where are you going so quickly?
I would, Butterfield, sir, I didn't expect you. This is a little out of steps. I can answer that, but what are you doing here? You didn't answer the call.
Yeah, probably because I was on a fucking airplane. Now, can we take a little walk?
Do you usually walk with your agents with a gun pointed at them?
I have no idea who this is, and he nudges his gun towards Caroline.
Yes, well, if you answered the call, maybe I would have a little context for you, huh?
A little busy, Barone. And he goes like this with his gun to walk out into a scrub field next to where you're parked without any lights. Please.
You don't have to drop your gun, sir, but if you at least lower it, I will consider stepping out for a talk with you. Usually I don't talk with teammates with a gun in their face.
I'm not your teammate, Barone.
True.
I am your commanding officer. You will put your gun down now.
I will uncock it and put it in my holster.
Thank you.
All right. I believe this person could be an asset. Let's have a little talk.
He motions with his head to walk into the dark scrubland. Tell me more.
Well, sir, I was unable to make report earlier.
Miss Fancy Pants, what the fuck are you doing here? You tell me more.
We needn't be strangers for long. Caroline, valid check. And she'll walk up and, extend a hand.
A white neoprene gloved hand comes out, grabs yours, and then immediately flips you around. Do you want to try to fight this, or do you want to let him just grab you?
I mean, he can do what he thinks he needs to do.
Yeah, he deftly grabs you and with one hand pins your arms under his arm, and the other hand comes up with a quick zip tie and zip ties you, and he grabs your hair and yanks your head back and starts walking you out into the darkness.
Ooh, big man, big man.
I don't think that's entirely necessary, though some precaution is probably advised. I think this person here may be of asset.
Okay, I'll assess that. Let's go. And he starts walking her into the darkness, and
Yeah, I'm not letting her go alone. I definitely follow.
he throws you down on your knees, gets in front of you, is barely lit by the lights from the highway, and he gets level with you with his pistol, and he is kind of tickling the bottom of your chin with it, like this, back and forth in a circle. Now, what were you saying?
Saying how surprising it is that you feel comfortable trusting these people that work for you, on account of they don't rightly seem proper trustworthy.
Okay. And why should I trust you telling me that?
'Cause I've already been incidentally tasked with cleaning up some of their loose ends, and there are plenty to be found. An awful lot of things that, well, if you're so concerned with them being thorough and thoughtful, and careful and smart, that you probably wouldn't want the rest of the world to catch wind of what you didn't want them to hear about.
You see a serious moment pass his face, and the gun goes stiff under your chin and pushes harder. Can you roll sanity for violence? Or excuse me, helplessness.
Yes, I can. 007, I'm starting to feel like something of a special agent myself.
All right. You mark off one again for helplessness on your way to adapting, and you are able to steel yourself with this serious look that passes through his face. Can you roll me a persuade?
Yes, I can. 42, plenty good.
Okay. He takes a deep breath. I know that they fucked something up out here. I could tell when I spoke with them. What do you presume you can do for me? And why shouldn't I just put a bullet in you?
Well, you can if it makes you feel better, but I don't think it makes your problems go away. RD, under your supervision, had tried to do something similar, use some of these assets to represent, a collateral, a dead man's switch, something of that. And it seems as though he may have been a little out of practice on account it didn't seem to quite go off as intended, but I assure you I do not miss.
Butterfield looks up to you, Barone. What the fuck is she talking about?
Apparently, Ryan betrayed our trust a little bit and didn't send off the photos, and instead taped them to the underside of a toilet.
Another long, bated breath. Okay.
What I'm saying is, it seems like you have a recurring problem. Some people clearly with aptitudes, but perhaps that need a little bit of a stronger hand to corral them. I could be that stronger hand. Seems clear that you have, an awful lot of things that demand your attention. And, like I said, I won't be swept under the rug so easily. So you can put me down here in the dirt if it makes you feel better, or perhaps, I could make your life a little easier.
Go ahead and roll persuade again. What's your persuade at, actually? Sorry.
Well, good enough to make a 55 a critical success.
Okay.
My persuade is 80.
Wow, dang.
You see him get a little introspective, still maintaining eye contact, still holding the pistol to your chin, and he kind of smiles a little bit, and the smile turns into a grin, and he says, well, fuck, you just saved your own life, and then walks behind you. There's a awkwardly long moment where you feel like maybe he's just going to shoot you in the back of the fucking head, but then you feel the zip tie be cut, and your arms are free, And then he grabs you on the shoulder by the jacket, strong hand, and pulls you up. So how are you going to get these two fuck-ups out of this then?
Well, we got a little PR campaign to put on in the swamp. It seems like, the loose ends abound, but you give us 2-3 days, it'll be quiet as it ever was around here. I promise you that.
Okay, 2 or 3 days?
Yes, sir. That's all it takes.
He motions for you to walk back towards the cars with his pistol, and he looks at Barone. So, Agent Barone, did Dell die trying to take care of Agent Ryan? What's going on? How did he die?
It got a little messy out there, sir. We definitely botched it a bit. Karas seemed open to participating with more information than I thought we could get just from gleaming around the place itself. Luckily, he helped us out of a pickle we got in with Dell. But he ended up betraying our trust in the middle of broad daylight, somehow completed a ritual in really short fashion that brought beings into this world. 3 of them. They're called the Architects. And they came, a fight ensued, Karas is gone, Dell expired at the same time.
Okay. Was this within public view?
Was it out in the open? Yeah, sure. Was it in the middle of a swamp where there's literally nobody around for miles? Also, yes.
Okay, great. Okay. And Agent Sandusky perished in that fight by the aliens' hands, not by anybody else's.
More or less. Collateral damage for protecting ourselves, sir, yeah.
Were any of you exposed to this creature in a biological manner?
Like, did the Architects do something? Not really. They came and wreaked all hell on everybody around and then left.
You look like shit. Did it cut you?
I feel like shit.
Did it infect
no,
you?
Sir. I never got close enough to scrap with them. We used range fire.
Did you recover any alien technology from Karas?
Ooh, shit. Did I recover alien technology from Karas? Thinking of that crazy alien pipe in my backpack. Oh man, Nick. Okay, here. Yeah, okay. I just made a roll, a 50-50 of do I tell him or do I not tell him. I rolled a 92, which is tell him. So I will mention the artifact that we found.
So, Karas is dead. You recovered some alien technology and encountered something that you call an architect. And this is all burned to the ground? Like, are the bodies out there? Is Dell buried? Like, how was the cleanup?
Dell and Karas are taken care of and cleaned up pretty nicely. However, the place itself and all around is in shambles, and it's very clear that something happened out there that was more of an explosion than anything else. And I think I purposely don't necessarily mention the Ranger at this point in time.
Okay. Are there any angles that you can give to our Miss Caroline here? Like, could somebody have stumbled onto this and done this? Is there anybody you can imagine that you could pin this on? He's asking both of you too. Yeah,
I do. We ran into some transient population out there, 3 of them in particular, who ended up dying as well, that perhaps they broke into an old abandoned house and their methed out brains ended up causing a fire and blew the whole place to hell. Would make a story that generally makes sense for the area and with characters that not a lot of people care about.
Okay. He looks over at you, Caroline, and look, we have our first witness to the whole thing.
In your retelling, did you mention anything about Agent Ryan's involvement?
I did not. He's betrayed us succinctly, but at the same time, I don't necessarily trust Butterfield as well, so I purposely did not mention Ryan's betrayal. I'd rather have Ryan close and keep eyes on Ryan than had him fed to the wolves per se, so I did not mention that myself.
Yeah, that's all fine. Well, I can't imagine people are inclined to go asking too many questions if there seems to be a plausible cover-up. I think that should go a pretty long way, as long as we make sure there's nothing that seems too out of the ordinary. I think it'll be easy to make it blow over.
Okay, I've got other stuff to do. You guys get to work on that. Do not disappoint me again, Barone and Caroline. I hope you understand proving yourself in this context is a binary decision.
Yes, sir. I better have something to show for it. By the end of the week, I assure you I will.
Gets in his car. Are you just letting him leave? You going to say anything else to him?
No, I mean, I think in Barone's mind, my plan for saving Carolyn's life and benefiting myself and benefiting the team is seeming to pay off. Hey, I'm out of trouble with a light hand slap as far as I'm concerned, so I absolutely am just letting him go.
Yeah, he does a U-turn back towards the way of the hotel. Agent Smith pulls out and drives to a self-storage area and opens up a gate and motions for you to get out of the car. And it's a larger unit. In there is a bench and all of these storage lockers that are almost like foot lockers in the military. They're locked. And there's a single light that he pulls open and a table with 4 chairs. And there's a 5th chair sitting off to the side. And he motions for you to sit at the table.
Okay, I sit down.
Thank you. Thank you for being accommodating. I appreciate you. We're just gonna wait for Bobby to get back and then we'll talk. Can I get you anything?
And I'm just looking around the room. Do I see anything else, or is it just table and chairs in here?
There's just storage, like 3 military footlockers that are locked, and plastic all over the floor.
Sweet. Dexter's
Just casually. Oh, man.
I think I'm good. Do I still have my gun, or did they take that away?
You still have it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay. Hey, suit yourself. I got cigarettes and water. And he pulls out a bottle of water and a pack of cigarettes, sets them on the table for you to help yourself. About 30 minutes later, you hear another car pulling up and then a tap on the sliding door that was closed, or the roll door, and he rolls it back up and Butterfield ducks in. He has a suit on. It's not covered in a black jacket anymore, and he no longer has the painter stuff on. And behind him, in handcuffs, is a man in a suit that is kind of giggling to himself, and you recognize him as Arthur Finch. And he pulls Arthur Finch toward him. Arthur doesn't seem like he's fighting it much and sits down in a chair across the table. Butterfield has a service pistol on an outside holster under his jacket, and he pulls it out and sets it on his lap and sits down. Says, well, Agent Ryan, you and Finch have some work to do. I need to contact whoever it was you spoke to, and I want it to be soon. So whatever you need to do with Finch to get him up to speed on Karasa's ritual, you better start now. The clock is ticking.
Yeah, what are you expecting from this interaction with this? I wouldn't even say person, I would say thing.
Agent Ryan, you're 30 seconds away from me killing you. I am expecting to speak with them, and I know that you were trying to fuck us. So you're lucky that I'm giving you this opportunity to prove yourself again and prove that I can count on you to handle something. You weren't recruited for your computer science skill. You were recruited because of a UAP abduction that you experienced and probably have no memory of. Now, please.
Abduction of me?
Yes, Agent Ryan. Give me a second. He brings a folder from one of those boxes and throws it in front of you, and it's your psyche valve from Dr. Thorne. It's all right here. Give it a look, and then please stay on track and get Finch the information he needs. Can you roll your sanity?
Yeah. 35?
Okay.
54 is what my...
Roll a d4 of sanity loss. Okay. You take 1 sanity. You still don't have willpower, but yeah. And yeah, the file in front of you is a psyche val that recounts. It's almost like a transcript of you under a state of hypnosis through the guise of EMDR therapy, talking about being abducted from an AC-130 on a radar mission. It's vague, not a lot of details. Do you plan on teaching Finch this thing?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Roll your unnatural.
Okay. My unnatural is 21, and I got 30.
So my guess is you would teach him the symbols, the song, kind of just everything you know?
I would just tell him about my experience of, putting the symbols in the sand.
Okay.
And then the chant, obviously. And, just telling him as much as he can understand, I guess, like what my experience was.
As you're recounting this, Agent Smith gives Finch just a large sketch pad of paper, large style sheets, and Finch is listening to you intently, doesn't interrupt you, has some twitches here and there, but he starts just scrawling as you're explaining this. Some of it's the symbology that you recognize, some of it's not, and he is continuing to consume this information through drawing somehow. Like he's listening, but you can see he's listening through his hands, and he's flipping paper after paper as you're explaining this. Butterfield, as this starts, motions to Agent Smith, and you see Agent Smith go to the chair that's away from the table, grab some earplugs, put them in, and then put over shooting things over his ears, and sits there and opens a book and starts reading it. Does not want to hear what you have to say. Butterfield just stands in the corner waiting and listening. And you tell him everything.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I feel like my interests are more aligned with theirs. And so there's really not much for me to hide as far as I'm concerned. So...
You arrive back at the hotel, and you get all your stuff unloaded into room 214, a completely different room. Caroline has the skeleton key for the place. The front desk is apathetic about anybody coming in and out of here. And what do you do from here?
Yeah, as we start getting, settled into the room, I think you notice that Barone is kind of looking out the window kind of towards where Ryan was before. And she's going to turn around and be like, I think I know what I'm going to find, but I have to know. I'm going to go check on Ryan's old room. I don't know if you want to come with or hang out a second, but I'll be right back either way.
Yeah. Caroline looks down, studies her hand, and she can see that she is grasping her left hand that is trembling with her right and trying to steady it. And she thinks that she has had quite enough excitement for one day and will retire to her room.
All right, yeah. No harm. I'll catch you in the morning. And then I will head over to Ryan's last whereabouts.
Yeah, you open the door, and Ryan had come in here in a fit. Last time you remember, he was not happy Caroline was here at all and was upset at you. And the room looks like that. There are muddy footprints all over. There's a bloody towel, some scattered candy wrappers all over. But Ryan is not there.
All right, Ryan. I hope you didn't get yourself into even more of a mess and you're doing just fine. But I guess I might never know. And I'll grab the bloody towel to, remove any violent traces and make it look like here's just a slop of a person, and take one quick look around for anything else. Maybe walk into the bathroom and see if he left anything there, and, kind of make a lap on the way out.
Yeah, give me a search roll.
Sure. Search, pretty good, 57. We got a 78, so failed.
Yeah, you see what you see. And you walk around, you see the mud everywhere, the wrappers. There's nothing really there to sanitize other than the towel. Your guess is, his hair and stuff is everywhere, but you're not a forensic scientist. So you do what you can and exit.
All right. As I start closing the door, I'm like, all right, well, take care, Ryan. Maybe I'll catch you around. and I will shut the door and head back to my room.
You imagine that the room just sits in silence, the air still circulating through it as you walk to your new room. You get in, and on the television, it's muted, but the images flicker. There's a seasonal static, cheap commercials of plastic skeletons, bags of candy corn, and it cuts to a black and white marathon of the Dracula movies from starting in the 1930s. The world outside is preparing to put on masks for Halloween. They have no idea of the real monsters that you've encountered. Caroline, where are you in the room right now?
Yeah, I think I am delicately taking off my garments, trying to prepare myself for bed, but maybe more than anything, laying them out in a way so that I can take stock of what it is that I have to work with. I don't understand exactly what it is that I've gotten myself into. I don't exactly understand what it is that I'm tasked with cleaning up. I don't exactly understand a lot of things about the hows and the whys, but I need to understand my tools and implements at my disposal as I try to center myself on the problem at hand.
Yeah, I imagine you've gotten the hotel legal pad, set it on the bed, sitting there with a pen, and in your head, you're building your own ghost story for the police to believe, so they don't look for the real ghosts, right?
And there are a lot of bad ideas, so many bad ideas pouring forward, but we get a couple good ones, a couple stick.
Barone, you come in. What do you do?
I'm, reporting back, sir, and I make a weak salute. Ryan's gone, obviously. I mean, I assume he was swept up just like we were, so he's probably safe, but he's not here anymore. So she'll probably kind of like give a little nod to her update and, start making her way out the door unless she's stopped.
Yeah, fast friends, but maybe not that fast.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll catch you in the morning.
I like the idea that she said that.
Just like, hey,
that's crazy.
just deadpan. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, bet.
Go and give me an alertness on your way out.
Alertness, looking for 81. We did good. Critical success with a 44.
As you're leaving, you didn't think to look earlier, but you do notice that the Crown Vic and Corolla that you clocked earlier are long gone and no longer there. So both cars, before, you saw Butterfield pull up in one of them, and the other one is now gone too. So,
okay, great. So at least a half a breath in a little bit of breathing room, for sure. So maybe that puts her mind slightly at ease, at least enough to not sit next to her gun 24/7 for the rest of life, and maybe she could take a shower and try and see what she could do about this gunshot wound before she gets it really patched up.
Yeah. So you get into your room, start a shower. Are you taking the bandage off that you had applied?
I think I have to. I think I applied it in haste. I think I have to redo, first aid, like knowing that, hey, there's a bullet in me, bud, and I need to actually go get it looked at. But, maybe I could pass it off as an idiot cleaning her gun or something like that, especially with, a little help from Rangers saying, we found this idiot who shot themselves last night and didn't think it was life-threatening or something. But I think for now, yeah, definitely take it off, clean it up, re-wrap it, re-bandage as best as I can, first aid.
Yeah, you pull it off and you jump in the shower just to clean all the filth off of you, is my guess as well.
Absolutely.
Right? And yeah, you're cleaning blood off your skin, mud. The only thing you can't scrub away is the memory of everything. And you look at your shoulder in the mirror maybe after your cleanup. And by all rights, you should have been in an emergency room. That was a .38 caliber slug from the pistol. It should be hot, inflamed, it should be swollen. In fact, it should be screaming at you right now. But you didn't go to the hospital, right? You're standing here. You're not tired. You don't feel hurt. Maybe even push it a little bit. And there's no blood, right? You cleaned it off. There's a little bit of bruising. And, it should be like a deltoid or like a candelera. It's not scabbing over or anything, but there is a gray, viscous look to something that's coagulating in there.
Gross. And touching it isn't putting me in excruciating pain, huh?
No, do you touch the middle of it?
I think if it's not doing what I'm expecting, I'm going to poke and prod. Like, everybody knows don't poke at things, but the curiosity is getting the best of me, and I should be on the floor, floored by the pain of this. I think absolutely.
Yeah, you stick a finger in there, and it feels like some sort of concrete mix with mercury. It's like a heavy, grainy feeling. And you poke and there is no pain. In fact, there's like a sensation of a little bit of pressure, like somebody's poking your skin, but it kind of vibrates through your arm, like a small little electrical current as you touch it.
All right, that's a little strange. I'm going to dry off and I'm going to make my way over to my bag and collection of things, and I'm gonna find that rod, and I'm going to do a little science, do a little testing hypothesis here. Well, yeah. Let's see what happens. And I take the rod out and I kind of put it kind of near it and see if it causes me pain, if it feels any different, if anything happens.
Go ahead and make a POW ×5 for me roll.
Sure, POW ×5. I'm looking for 55, and I got a 19 success.
You run the rod around it, maybe almost like a tuning fork or something, and they do react to each other like that. You feel a current from both. In fact, it's almost like you feel a connection finishing, right? It's almost like a relief as that thing comes close to your arm, and you feel deep in the meat of your arm, the bullet that's in there still. It didn't pass all the way through. It isn't festering. It's being like disassembled. Like your body can feel it being broken down. It's like a microscopic grinding sensation and tiny little files working on the metal as your body breaks the slug down atom by atom.
Huh, gross. That is probably the grossest midnight snack I think I've ever had. And I toss the baton onto the bed and finish bandaging up, I guess.
Yeah, you are able to cover it up. You get it tight. I won't have you roll me another first aid since you have enough time to do it and you're well versed in the skill. And yeah, when you sit there, there's a silence over the room. Maybe your blinds are a little open. I would be wondering, like, are you the hunter in the blinds or are you the last few rabbits left in the burrow, right? Tomorrow is Halloween and you have a big day ahead of you. Do you try to sleep?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything that happened, even having a bullet being eaten apart inside of me by my own body. I mean, don't look a gift horse in the mouth type thing. So I think I'm exhausted and torn down mentally and physically. I'm finally clean. I think it is definitely time to try and get some rest in me.
Yeah, to sleep. Can you give me a con ×5 roll?
Sure, con ×5, looking for 75. No problem, 32 success.
Okay. Yeah, the vibration and the sensation in your body, it feels copacetic, like you're able to cope with it and sleep through it. So you pass out, no problem. What have you been up to, Caroline?
Yeah, is this still evening before heading to bed?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Unless you want to you can just say, I go to sleep, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm simply doing my best to fall asleep. Tomorrow is when the real work begins. I've got some ideas, but we'll have to see what comes of it.
Yeah, can you give me a POW ×5?
Yes. 000s. Fuck that.
Okay. You roll 000s more than anybody I've played with. So.
I mean, I also roll some really good rolls.
That's true.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Okay. So you try your best to fall asleep. You're tossing and turning. What thought would be nagging Caroline that keeps her awake in this?
Yeah. Well, it's that utkiari. It's that anticipation of the dawn. That understanding that you have something that is precipitous, quite honestly life-altering, potentially, right? The next 24, 48, 72 hours could change your world like nothing has before, and you simply cannot mess it up.
Yeah. Can you give me a SAN roll?
88. That's a critical failure.
Okay. Well, it was a 0-1, so you take the max, which is just 1, as you're trying to fall asleep. and reflecting on the anticipation of the day, but also the terror of what you've been tasked to do.